What's going on, y'all? I'm Daniel.
I'm Minyoung.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Won here.
First off, I just want to wish everyone a happy 2021. Welcome and thank you for tuning into our first episode of Seoul Therapy The Podcast. Most of you listening right now probably come from our socials and know about Seoul Therapy already. But for our new audiences, Seoul Therapy is a hub for everything related to K-hip-hop and R&B in the West, where we serve you all sorts of contents, but most importantly, we want to serve you great music and knowledge on the current scene. The three of us will be discussing a major events surrounding the K-hip-hop and R&B scene every last Tuesday of the month. So before we begin, I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Eiichii for creating our signature sound. Finally, Seoul Therapy the Podcast will be available on all streaming platforms, so please don't forget to go and subscribe and follow for more episodes. Also, if you haven't already, please go and follow us on all social media platforms at Seoul_Therapy. Again, that's Seoul, SEOUL_Therapy. Before we dive into our discussion, Won and Minyoung, can you guys briefly introduce yourself and state what you guys do, where you're from, how you met, and how the podcast came about from your perspective?
Hello, my name is Minyoung. I'm currently working as a contributor for the Korean hip-hop magazine, HIPHOPPLAYA. I post reviews up on Eiichii and the website, and usually it is content concerning albums. Although if you're good at Korean, I guess you can always check it out and follow my Instagram. I go by the name Daytona when I'm writing content, so make sure to check it out. Shout out to Paloma, who's put all of this together. So thank you.
Welcome.
What's up, guys? My name is Won. You guys may know me from my channel, Show Me the Won. So that's my thing. That's my K-hip-hop channel for the global fans. I basically post a lot of K-hip-hop related videos or interviews with the actual rapper and, my vlogs here and there. So, I guess I run like a K-hip-hop /vlog YouTube channel. And also I have an Instagram that's dedicated, really more towards me. It's called It's Your Boy Won. So yeah, that's my thing. And I, of course, got into this thanks to Paloma from Seoul Therapy. She reached out to me. Big shout out to her for sure, yes. So she reached out, and now we're here today to, have some good discussion about Korean hip-hop.
All right. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. I know so many things happened last year, but today we're going to briefly be going over two events, which was the formation of Daytona Entertainment and the success of Show Me the Money Season 9. However, for our main discussion, we will focus on the 2021 K-Hip-Hop Awards and the controversy circulating with some of the nominees. That being said, guys, the first topic with the Daytona Entertainment, since it's only brief, I guess the first question is, or the main question is, what is your initial reaction when Daytona was formed?
Daytona Entertainment, it was definitely a surprise for sure, I think, because, after The Quiet ended his thing with Illionaire, we all just thought he was going to focus on Ambition Music.
Yeah.
But then, out of the blue, he just created a new label with Yumta. So that was definitely a surprise because those two are one of the biggest, hip-hop OGs in the K-hip-hop scene, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So them two creating an entertainment label was very interesting. But at the same time, I'm not sure if you guys knew, but they have certain rules. They set certain ground rules when they created the label, and that's we're never gonna release track together as a label. They're not gonna go on show programs all together to promote the label. And they were saying that Daytona Entertainment is solely just to help the artist grow, not to promote the label or anything, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The fact that they're doing an artist-centralized company rather than a label-centralized company that was a very interesting factor for me to see.
All right. What about you, Mino?
Just like Juan is saying, I think that is why, all the things he just said about being an artist-centered label is why people are being very excited about Daytona Entertainment. There were numerous interviews, especially regarding content from HIPHOPPLAYA, from Hip Hop LE, where The Quiet was kind of frustrated about how Korean labels work because many Korean labels, especially hip-hop labels, work more as a team, more like a unit, not as a company. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, many American labels are just company and the artists. You don't see every artist from Def Jam running around together, right?
Mm-hmm.
or you don't see artists from Republic all running around together. That just does not happen. It's weird because I think The Quiet is kind of trying to shatter that kind of paradigm, that Korean hip hop labels are more team focused and everyone should be friendly and they're working more together as a crew rather than a label. So The Quiet was always known for its frustrations with having to always move as a team. Like they had to release a compilation every like year or two. Fans were craving for it. Fans were always saying, where's the compilation album and stuff like that. I think that was never the picture that he wanted to paint. So that's why with this Daytona Entertainment thing, like especially with Yumta being known as a potent case of self-promotion, like with his IGs and t-shirts and stuff, I think he's really trying to bring the business side of this rather than trying to make a crew kind of artistic statement. So he's just trying to get some talented people and just financially back them and do nothing more than that. It's more like American label systems. Like it's what Def Jam did. It's what EMI does. It's what Columbia Records does. Like he's trying to go to the next level. He's trying not to get chained down with this team moving like as a collective. So I think it is a movement that has potential. Like if this goes well, it means the pie of hip hop is going to become bigger in Korea.
For sure, and other labels will start following this type of movements as well.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is it's like Daytona is more business focused, right? Essentially, rather than kind of like the musical aspect of it, because that's what it sounds like.
No, I think what Minyoung's trying to say is like it's also music focused as well, but it's just more artist, focused rather than the label focus. I think that's what we're trying to get at, right, Minyoung?
I think that's like The Quiet always hated that. Like he explicitly said that he didn't like this. Interviews after interviews, he's like, "Man, I'm sick of having to be like having artists always having to be categorized with other members within the label. Like the members were frustrated. He himself was frustrated, especially when he was working on Illinois Records. Like people kept saying that you shouldn't get more members. Like 3 is perfect, and that's definitely what he didn't want to do." So he's really just trying to make more of a business move, like to be strictly business, nothing more. Just financial support, do whatever you want to, and not go for this everyone needs to be friends kind of thing.
So do you guys think Daytona is more like AOMG kind of focused in terms of just how AOMG has been running their label?
No, they're very different in my opinion, yeah.
It's not as much as higher music, but AOMG back in their heydays were definitely like mobbing around together.
Of course.
That's true.
Of course.
Yeah, so I think it's just an independent label that never actually tried this kind of model before in Korean hip hop.
Yeah, I think it's a really unique label just because it's very new and very different. And I'm really excited to see where Daytona is going to go in the near future. So hopefully, I know they're signing, they've signed a couple artists already, like Futuristic Swaver and Mellow. So who's the latest addition? So I'm really excited on who they're going to bring along to the team. So yeah, we wish Daytona nothing but success. So the next topic we're going to go on to is the success of Show Me the Money Season 9.
Yeah.
And I kind of just wanted to get your guys' overall review and take on the season, because how we had like a kind of a mediocre Season 8. I don't know if you guys felt that, but to me, Season 8 felt really like mediocre. It just really didn't live up to the expectations of what Show Me the Money really is.
For sure.
Okay, yeah. So I kind of just wanted your guys' overall review and like perspective on this season's success.
Well, isn't this kind of your expertise one?
I mean, there's no expertise. It's just my take on this. I mean, obviously, like, Show Me the Money 8 was not as what we expected. And, even before, like, if you look at the viewerships, like, it consistently has been going down in the past few seasons, Like, Show Me the Money 777 had great, tracks and it had a lot of, good feedback and outlook, but their viewership was actually still pretty low. So in that sense, like everyone believed that Show Me the Money is taking that downward trail. But Show Me the Money 9, man, like the content itself was great. and there was a lot of great artists who came out of it. But at the same time, like I think because of Corona, like everyone's staying at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that really hurt the season, I guess.
Not hurt. No. This is
No.
Yeah, it benefited the season a lot, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More people staying home, more people watching it.
That's true.
I know what you're saying though. Like Daniel, like you're talking about how there's no audience, stuff like that. It's like a handicap, right?
Like an asterisk.
Yeah. For reals. But then, like, if you look at the other way around, like people are staying at home watching TV, like more than ever.
Exactly.
Right? So they're just waiting for a killer content, and show me the money now and just pull through. Honestly.
But you know what? The artists too, like the contestants who came out, was really, really like a great lineup. Like I was
rapping.
Like I was like so surprised about like the contestants who joined. Like to be honest, I had no expectations. I was kind of like concerned, like, oh, what other contestants are out there to come out? And then when I saw the producer lineup, I was like, okay, we're getting something. Like we're onto something really good. And then when Kundi Panda was there, Lil Boy was there. Mush Venom, I was just like, okay, this is going to be an exciting season. So to me personally, I thought it revitalized the program, to be honest. Like it really revitalized it. I don't know about other people, but to me, this season was a huge success just because I was so happy to see Lil Boy back after when he got eliminated from season 4. He hasn't been on the other season. So it was really refreshing and really great to see Lil Boy back on season 9.
For sure.
What I take away from Show Me the Money 9 was it was not exactly about the viewership either. I think we should, when it comes to like SMTM, the biggest factor when it comes to like how successful it was it did well on the charts.
Oh, 100%.
The songs that came out here, the songs that came out were really killing the charts. You never kind of saw this for the past few seasons. I mean, there were some hits off of 777.
Yeah.
And the last number, the number 8, SMTM8 had no hits at all.
Oh yeah.
After season 5, it was kind of a downhill. I feel like after season 5.
Yeah, it was constantly on the downhill. I mean, the 6th season was not bad, but ever since the 7th season, the 8th season, it was like, yeah, this thing is done. We need to stop making this. And then somehow in the 9th one, they made great songs. I think that's the point here. Like with all the viewer, like what happens on the screen aside, the most important thing is how the songs are doing well at the charts. So how many people are actually knowing what is going on, right?
100%.
And in that sense, like VVS alone.
Oh man, that song was wow.
That
song alone.
Wow.
Yeah, that song alone makes this season better than at least the last 3, in my opinion.
100%. 100%. You guys are exactly on point. That's where I was trying to like just get at the fact that so many, if not like most of the songs are on the like Melon music chart. Like I kind of check up on it and I'm just like, like all of them were on there. So that's really surprising.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It's very weird. VVS beating out BTS and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was what I was trying to say here. Like, you don't see like before like this year and last year, you kind of never saw hip hop songs breaking that high on Korean Billboard.
Exactly.
And even with like the competition was crazy. Like there was BTS, there were so many Korean ballad singers coming for a comeback.
Exactly.
But it somehow stayed in their first place for a really long time. And I think it still is. I'm not sure. It was just kind of amazing. Because if you think about it, whether the program itself has more viewership is important. But for the rappers that actually went on there, right? For them, the song doing better is more crucial to them for their careers. And in that sense, SMTM9 was perfect. Like the rappers got exactly what they wanted to get.
Exactly.
And what rappers usually get is what the fans want as well. So kudos to this season. Like there were many problems with the, how do you call that in English? 편집?
The editing.
Yeah, there were some problems with the editing a bit, but all in all, if the music is good, I don't care.
That's true.
SMTM9 was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hopefully we get season 10 as a final season. But moving on to our main topic for our episode, which is the controversy surrounding the 2021 Korean Hip Hop Awards regarding, with some of the nominees. What did you guys think? Like, just seeing the list with the nominees, like, how'd you guys feel about it?
I saw Juan's video on this, actually. So I think Juan can
start
this.
I'm embarrassed. Yeah.
Same here.
Why are you embarrassed about it?
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
It was a good video.
It was really good.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying at the end of the day, I feel like everyone always has their own artist that they want to see in the list. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, like Changmo's name I saw a lot. Who else? And like Jay's name obviously is chanted everywhere because honestly, like the man did hustle.
I mean, it's Jay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No one could argue against Jay being in the list. But honestly, like I thought the list did seem pretty straightforward and fair. Obviously, like no one's ever gonna be like fully satisfied. Like not everyone's gotta be fully satisfied. You know what I mean?
True.
But I felt like the candidates and the albums and the tracks that were on the list, like they were there for a reason. I feel like they all deserve it. So yeah.
Look, I'm not the one to critique, obviously, because everybody's kind of like everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I'll be honest, man. With some of these nominees, I can't help but to say, but like it just didn't make sense to me. For like in terms of the hip hop album of the year, there were so many other albums.
Yeah, there were.
Bill Stax, no disrespect to that Detox album. I listened to it today. No disrespect. I thought it was solid. But to me, it just didn't sit well with me in terms of making it on the category of album of the year. Because to me, the biggest mistake I kind of felt was when they left out Uwonje's Blackout album.
Yeah, the white cover with the black circle.
Yeah,
right?
that to me, that was it really hurt. Like to me that was a deserving album to be up there just because it was very experimental, but at the same time, it was very original. To me, that should have been up there. Code Kuntz's People album should have been up there.
For sure. That was a good album.
PH1's X, that should have been up there. Or even, if you see the Higher Music Red Tape, the compilation album, why not Highlight Records compilation album, The Legacy, I feel like it was a disservice, but who am I to say that, Because I don't organize this stuff, but yeah, just to me, it just felt a little bit short. Like Bill Stack's Detox could have been on the underrated album, in my opinion. And I would have replaced it with Uwonje's Blackout, but that's just me. I don't know about you guys. Was there any category where you felt like, this album should have been on there, or this track should have been on there, or this producer should have been on there?
Like, to me, it was... for example, let's start with the Detox thing, actually.
Okay.
If you look at Detox as an album, like its sound is not exactly the most original sound on earth.
Of course not.
Because it was basically a trap album.
Agreed.
Of course, the thing Bill Stax does and the flows, the hooks, the production choices, it was all great, but it was nothing groundbreaking musically.
No.
But the reason why this is on the AOTY discussion and why so many Korean hip hop fans were head over heels for this project was because this was the first Korean album in the entire history of Korean hip hop to talk so much about weed.
Yeah. That's what it represents, I think, for us. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
If you look at Korean culture and how Koreans think about drugs, it is way, way more conservative than what's happening in the States or European countries. Like, weed is basically like, many people, like, weed is that hard, like, considered a hard drug here. And flipping that and making an entire album about weed is just a monumental moment in Korean hip-hop. So I think that is why it's on the album of the year list. It's not because of the sound, but more because of the lyrics. No hip-hop album has done this before. And I think that kind of deserves to be commended. I think 2020 was a great year for Korean hip hop. Like, among Korean fans, we kind of never had a time where there were this many good albums in a single year. You had Lil Cherry and Go Buddha. Do you know them?
Yes.
Like Lil Cherry. Yeah, they dropped a great tape called Chef Talk, which is a very forward-thinking mumble rap album. Like the production on that and everything, it's just something that was never heard before. Like even in the States, no one is doing a sound like that. Like fusing 2000s Southern bounce with a very avant-garde approach to everything. And there was also Be Free with Free the Beast.
Be Free.
Like I know he's a very controversial artist, right?
Very.
Like he's very controversial, but what many people are kind of, especially foreign fans, are not kind of aware of is that he's kind of our Kanye West.
Okay.
You know,
musically,
I can see that.
Yeah, musically, he's our Kanye West. Like every time he drops an album, the landscape of Korean hip hop changes. The soundscape changes. You can't take a single album out of his discography and say that, oh man, this is a shit album. You can't. It's that good of album, like that solid and that great of a discography. And especially with this recent Free the Beast album. Do you know Memphis hip hop?
Of course.
Yes.
No one has tried Memphis hip hop in the way Be Free did in Korean hip hop before. Fusing elements of country, Western music, like country Western music with Memphis, like it just never happened before. It is not exactly a sound you can hear in the States either. So there were many snubs actually with the award thing, but you can only have 6 albums on there, right? Like there were too many albums to just like
skip out on. Yeah,
there's 2 less slots, too many albums to put on there.
Yeah, it is difficult to select a good one.
The biggest controversy with this award is that Artist of the Year, though.
Okay, let's go there.
The biggest problem that Korean fans are having is that people who didn't put out an album are nominated.
Okay.
Like Justice.
Yeah. Justice didn't put out an album, and Palo Alto did not put out an album, right? And technically, J Park didn't either.
Right.
Like he did put out the compilation album, so did Palo Alto, but they didn't put out solo stuff. And I think Korean hip hop fans are kind of alienated by this. Like, why is a person who doesn't have a solo album this year getting nominated Artist of the Year? That's the controversy here.
What do you think about that, though?
People are kind of fine with the other stuff.
Is an album necessary to be chosen as an Artist of the Year? Like, I think it's pretty like self-explanatory, right? The award title is called Artist of the Year, not Artist with the best album of the year. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? Like you said, Jay didn't drop an album, but he dropped 50 some songs this year, like 2020. And that's like a song a week, like there's no artist who drops a song a week. You know what I mean? And that's like same goes for Justice. Like he featured in like so many songs and they're super fire, So like,
yeah,
I personally don't think that logic is really viable when it comes to Artist of the Year. But obviously, like I do see people having issues with that.
Yeah.
And that's fine,
I think for me, when it comes to Artist of the Year, this is how I see. I see what the accomplishments that they've done.
Of course.
When I look at that list, the one that stands out to me the most is Deep Flow. And I know there's controversy around him with Lil Boy right now.
Oh my God. That was just a mess. That was a hot mess.
If we kind of put that away, and if we look at it from the business and the musical standpoint, to me, I see Deep Flow getting that, recognition. Why? Because VMC to me is where you least expect for albums to drop. If you look at other labels like AOMG, Hired Music, Highlight Records, they're always putting out albums, like Ambition Music, like Lila Mars, he's always putting out stuff. But in other perspective, like if you look at VMC, you don't really get a lot of like full-length albums or like mini albums or a lot of digital singles. But last year, like they exceeded my expectations. Like I was so surprised when Deep Flow came out with his Founder album. That was just out of the blue. Like I was just like, what? Like,
yeah.
I know he dropped 36 Dangers in 2019, but yeah, I would have never expected him to drop a full-length album that following year. I was like, maybe like 3 years later or like 2 years later. Okay, maybe then. But him to drop an album that following year was very surprising. And that was early, like in April. But also Nuxar's album, 1987.
Yeah.
Like that was a surprise too. I was like, what? All of a sudden, Nuxar comes out with an album after like 4 years,
That's about time for him, yeah.
Yeah, no. Which is why I was very surprised. And Rohan came out with his Cheongyu album, you know?
Yeah.
And then QM came out with this Cheongyu. So to me, D-Flow earned that title in my perspective.
Just by coming out of the blue.
Yeah, like he was the the least expected for me. Like I was like, okay, he's probably not gonna drop anything new. But he just dropped like albums after albums after albums after albums. Like he even helped drop Freddie Cosso's first full-length album last year, Pale Dot Blue.
He had a project.
Or Pale Blue Dot.
He actually had a project called Boiling Point for that.
Oh, did he? Oh yeah, I remember with Puyeon Suk.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, he has a project called Boiling Point, which is like supporting artists that are not even on his label and just giving them the money, like just for one album. He just gives the entire like financial support, like 100% for just one album. Like if he sees a person that is talented, but is not at a point, like at a financial point where they can put out an album. Like D-Flow is just
he's investing on them basically.
Responsible for just that one album. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are not many artists that do that because making an album is freaking expensive. It's
I bet.
It's very expensive. Putting out a single song on Melon takes
a lot of
few
money.
$100s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it takes a few $100s to do that. And to do especially for an album, like with the score, like the studio sessions, the recording, the mastering, the mixing and mastering, all of that shit, it's super expensive.
It is very expensive.
And just having a project like that, that's kind of enough. Like he's really doing his shit for the scene. Like although many people hate him, but he needs his credit too.
Exactly. Like aside from all the hate he's been getting, man, you got to give the man his props. You know, when credit is given, you got to give his credit. Like the man worked his tail off last year. You know, that's how I saw it. So Artist of the Year, to me, I think it's D-Flow.
Okay. What about you, Minyoung? Who do you think is going to win Artist of the Year?
I think it would go to either J Park or Swings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my take too. Yeah.
Like the one person I really thought that should be on Artist of the Year was sik-k.
Ah, okay. Good choice. I didn't think of that.
Because I'm not even a big fan of his album. He had better albums in the past, in my opinion. And the headliner was kind of disappointing for me.
Oh, okay. I can see it.
That aside, like he dropped so many projects this year. Albums. Like he put out multiple albums this year. 2 EPs and a single album or something, I think. And he was featured everywhere. He was basically all over the Higher Music compilation tape, right?
Yes.
And the VVS hook, if I'm not wrong, I think the VVS hook was made by sik-k. Like sik-k wrote the lyrics and wrote the song for VVS.
He partook in that. I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah.
Like Justice just sang the hook. I think he didn't make the hook. He just sang it, right?
I think so.
VVS hook was made by sik-k. So basically, he was behind the hottest song of the year. He was on not necessarily the best, but the hottest album of the year. He was all over that shit. His album was hot too. And he dropped 2 EPs, and he was on a feature list everywhere. So I'm kind of bummed that he's not on here. Like, why is sik-k not on here? I really didn't get it.
Yeah, he's also deserving.
If J Park is on this list, I really I know we just had the discussion that we can always have what we want with award shows.
Of course.
But on every level, on every how frequent their working was, how the quality of the work they put out, the frequency in which they drop projects, there was no reason whatsoever sik-k should not be on this list, and he's not on here, right? Which is a bummer for me. And I think the consensus is that sik-k should have been on here. But considering that, the person who came close to sik-k was J Park. Definitely. So maybe J Park deserve it.
Yeah.
But Swings also had an album this year, and his comeback with SMTM was huge too.
Yeah. I also think it's either J or Swings, but
yeah,
I have a strong feeling that Swings might win actually this year.
Really?
J Park won too many times.
I mean, obviously, because even in my video, I mentioned Jay already won 2017 and 2018, I believe.
Yeah.
And then apart from Artist of the Year, Jay already got Album of the Year award, Track of the Year award. He was consistently getting awards in the past few years. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with Jay winning again, but 2020 Swings really hit it off. You know what I mean?
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, his album Upgrade 4 wasn't like a commercial success or anything, but the man like produced everything, you know what I mean? He actually like, produced all the beats by himself, and album actually did get, some really nice feedback.
Yeah, fans ate it up.
And apart from that, like Show Me the Money 9, he did really well too. So
the fans ate that Upgrade 4 album up. Like they really liked it.
yeah.
I thought it was a great album.
And I think it was a good project too, but the fans really liked that Upgrade 4 album. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be either Jay or Swings, but if it comes down, I really think Swings just might win it this year.
Okay. Going back to the awards, like there's another one I need to speak upon. You know the collab of the year?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
So I'm looking at the list of the collaboration of the year, and I get it. They're all great. However, to me, this might surprise you guys. There is one song that's missing on there.
What song?
And to me, one of the nominations should have been from Palo Alto's Highlight Records compilation album with Evo, Palo Alto, Huckleberry P, Cool Kids Part 3. I don't know if you guys heard that song.
Yeah, I remember that song.
I cannot believe that song did not become part of the collab of the year. And I understand why. It's got to be, mainstream, what people want, or, it's kind of what's trendy, right? To me, though, I don't see it that way because it shouldn't always be what's popular. But rather, when you get an artist like Evo, who left Highlight Records after
coming back, yeah.
And for Palo Alto to, just to reach out to Evo, hey, you want to join on our compilation album that we're preparing, and for him to just be part of it, I was like, what? I was like, no way. There's no way Evo was back on one of the projects. And then one of the YouTube videos where they were preparing to preview their Legacy album when they were outdoors, singing songs. Huckleberry P said fans will like this album because there will be familiar faces returning.
That's Evo.
Exactly. Evo and G2. But I didn't expect Evo. I thought it had been someone like G2 or like Occasion. But I was like, okay, there's no way Occasion would be there. There's no way. So
no way.
So I was thinking, I was like,
maybe Be Free.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, never.
But I was like,
never happening.
Who would be the guy? Like, who would be another familiar face? And I was like, that's right. Evo was part of Highlight Records. When I saw Evo on the track list, I went berserk. I was like, yes. This is what we needed. So from that perspective, looking at the list, I give all the respect. I like the list, but if I were to take out a song from that list, it would be Automatic Remix, and I would put Cool Kids Part 3 in there. I don't know about you guys. Is there something that you would take out or add in?
I don't know. Candidacy, they're all great, but I think we all know like who's gonna win it already. You know what I mean? Like collab track wise, I think I have a strong feeling either Swish Flow or BBS will win the collab track.
Most likely.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Most likely, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so of the two, I feel like it's already there. So I don't really have anything against it. For me, it just becomes like a little less meaningful when the winner is already clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But do you think Automatic Remix should be considered?
Yeah, it was more like a challenge, wasn't it? It wasn't like an actual full-on track. Yeah.
You remember the 119 remix where every rapper on the planet was on it?
Yeah.
I think they kind of wanted to do the same with the Automatic single.
But R&B version of it.
Yeah.
That was good, though. Yeah, it was good, too. But
I never liked the Automatic song in the first place.
Oh. Yeah, no, preference. Yeah.
To me, I think it was Chancellor's track, right?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, he was the original.
To me, Chancellor can do way more ambitious music than that.
100%.
Like, he can be more artistically challenging, but it was a safe single to me. And it's not like the song was bad. It's just like I expected more from him.
He kind of played it safe.
It was more mainstream. I think that's what you're trying to get at, right?
Very mainstream.
Yeah, the vibe was more mainstream.
Yeah, it was more mainstream. Considering that, though, like, if you're getting like 28 artists on a song, how many artists was on this? Like, there were a bunch of them, right?
I think 15 artists were on Automatic Remix.
Was it only 15?
And some of them were like huge K-pop idols too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Daniel King. Yeah.
Considering that, like, although the song was not good as a solo track, I think for a collaboration like this kind of beat is actually better because it means more people, it can accommodate more styles. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But do you guys think having that many people will make the song more fluid. It just felt kind of thrown in together.
It felt really calculated, didn't it?
Yeah.
It just felt like people were just throwing in their verses, and it just didn't feel like constructive, you know? Like it just...
I don't think necessarily it's more about the music itself, but that it was actually done, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
DJ Khaled, I think, did a very similar thing on the Major Key album like about 4 years ago or 5. He had an entire album, and the last track was like a bunch of R&B artists together, like 10 of them on a single track. And it was considered something fresh. Although I never liked the track, I kind of commended like how he actually tried it. And I think Chancellor was trying to do a similar thing. I don't necessarily think the track is the best thing on the K-hip-hop scene or R&B scene, but it turned out better than I expected, though. I really expected the automatic remix to be like, what do you call it? Man, everyone is going to do the same flows. Everyone is going to hit the similar melodies, and it's going to be whack as fuck. But it was not that bad. It was way better than I expected. So I think it deserves a spot on this. My problem is the single, is the Bentley 2 single.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not because it's a bad track. It really isn't. Because I love that track. I actually made a list for HIPHOPPLAYA, and this is one of the top 10 songs of the year for me. This was a great song.
Agreed.
My problem with this song being in collaboration is, like, there are only 2 people on this song.
That's where I was going to go with that.
They don't have a back and forth either. It's Yeomta's part and then the Quiet's part. Done. Like, there's no back and forth. There's no actual, like, collaborative spirit. Like, all the other songs, if you look at it, it really feels like they were trying to make a collab track. They were trying to make a song that is going to fit everybody. But if you look at the Bentley 2 song, there are 2 parts, right? And Yeomta is only on the first part. So it's like 2 songs slapped together, right? It didn't feel collaborative to me. It just felt like 2 artists not necessarily playing off each other, but still making a great single together. I know how it sounds, but I think you kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it would have been, instead of Bentley 2, it would have been the Doppelganger remix for the P-Type single.
Oh, that was a really good single. That was really good.
The explicit content single.
That was really good.
Like, especially Justice stated that Doppelganger is never going to release a collaborative album. So you're only going to hear them on singles like this. And all 4 rappers really killed it on the track. It is rare to see rappers that are like boom bap rappers really doing this. So I would have replaced Bentley 2 with this, but I really don't have an issue with this that much. Like, I think this is a solid nomination, actually.
I would also even throw in the VMC collaboration, the Trouble Summer double single.
Yeah.
With Holiday producing one of it and Freddie Casso producing the other one. I would throw that one in as well. But also, let me ask you this. Do you think the BY and Son Simba Neo-Christian EP would be considered a collaboration?
It's only 2 people, though. So
yeah.
Okay.
They had the single with C-Jam and Jackie Y on it, though, right?
Yeah, they have a track.
That was a great track. Actually, that was a great track.
Let Me Know God was really good.
Yeah, that's the English title. Let Me Know God.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're recording, right?
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that Trouble Summer single, like going off of that, Freddie Casso produced one of it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think about the producer nominations?
That's where I was gonna go next. I like it. I think it's a strong candidate. Like the names on there is like really strong, but I was hoping Freddie Casso would have been on there.
That's what everyone is saying.
Like I like
Freddie Casso should have been.
I like Bronze. I do like Goosebumps. I do like Giddy Boy, Toil, but I need to see more. Like, especially from Bronze. I just need to see more from Bronze. I don't know. That's just me, but Freddie Casso's Pale Blue Dot album was just really experimental, very creative, and just the production to it was off the charts, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys.
What do you think, Juan?
I definitely feel like this award is putting out more well-known artists in the candidacy rather than the less-known ones.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe if there was a category called, the new producer of the year, you know what I mean? Because there's Because there's new artist of the year.
Yeah, that would have been better actually.
Yeah, but there's no new producer of the year. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I think Freddie Costa, if he were to come out, I think new producer of the year or like upcoming producer of the year would have been like a really good award. But no, to give a person like that who is relatively a lot less known than the other mainstream producers out there, it might be a little rough. Yeah.
What about you, Minyoung?
Yeah, Freddie Costa should have been on here for one reason, I think. Freddie Costa was everywhere. Not only on VMC albums. Not a lot of people know this, but Freddie Costa has multiple aliases. Did you guys know that?
No, I did not.
Like, he has a few names. He has like 3 or 4 names.
Really?
He uses for different types of beats. One of the best known is called CY. He uses this when he makes trap beats for trap rappers. And in that sense, like, he was on so many projects this year. Like, he was everywhere. I couldn't kind of believe that Freddie Costa is really making his own solo joints, making all the songs for VMC, like making many songs for VMC albums. Mm-hmm. He also had the entire production done for, do you know a rapper called Kitsuyoji?
Mm-hmm. He was not Show Me the Money.
He's a rapper from a label called Layback and Chill. It was LBNC. It's led by Cha Boom. This is a very hardcore hip hop label. He had 2 albums out. This rapper called Kitsuyoji had 2 albums out, and the fans loved these 2 albums. Like, he had 2 full-length albums come out this year, and all of them was produced by Freddie Costa under the name CY.
Oh wow, okay.
So he produced at least, I think, like 80 to 90 songs this year.
Wow.
At least. That's at least. And I don't know why he's not nominated on this, because he's a producer that is an in-house producer for VMC, right? For this major company.
Yep.
Everyone who, like, not necessarily everyone, but D-Flow and Cho Kwang-il is on this. There's no reason, or Kundi Panda is on this. There's no reason that Freddie Costa is not on here, because he has fans. And he has a fan base. So I don't know why he is not on this. Mm-hmm. Like, because look at the other candidates. I'm not denying any of them, like any of their work, but Freddie Costa kind of worked harder than any of these producers, in my opinion, to sheer off. Like, and it's not like he was like making throwaway beats everywhere. Like,
oh, definitely not.
These beats were quality beats.
Agreed.
These beats were produced one of the greatest singles of this year. So, like, I really don't get it. Like, out of all the things I'm saying today, I think this is the most important point. Like, how Freddie Costa was not on this producer nomination. It's kind of baffling for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah,
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, this was kind of weird. This was the nomination that kind of triggered me. Not the others, but this really triggered me. Like, why is he not on here? What do you have to do to get on this? Like,
yeah. It's always a standard, right? Like, what's the standard of making in the candidacy? And that's always the iffy part that gets the crowd always riled up, because they're like, what's the standard of these candidates being picked in the list? You know what I mean? But again, like, yeah, we're never gonna be 100% satisfied with the lineup. So yeah.
Just a quick pointing out, like. Mm-hmm. I think K-Hip-Hop Awards nomination is not 100% critics.
Oh, yeah.
It's 50%, yeah.
Yeah, it's 50. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's where the problem comes from. I don't think you need the netizen votes because that already happens in other awards. Like, you have Mellow Music Awards. You have Kaon Music Awards. Like, why are we doing this with Korean hip-hop as well?
That's true.
I just don't understand it. Because this is an award for genre fans. This is for fans that are fans of hip hop, not certain artists, right? This kind of system doesn't make this award any different from awards that we already have. And I know there are going to be problems with just having critics having to dictate everything, but it was never this controversial before. It wasn't this problematic before. I think many people are kind of pissed with it.
It's always difficult to kind of like say, what's right or what's wrong. But, at the end of the day, I guess if that's how they feel, maybe then that's where it goes. But just some of the nominees, just point blank, it just felt short to me. Like all the things that I mentioned earlier, it just felt short. It felt kind of bland. Like, there was no kind of like enhancement. But that's just me. One, like, is there anything that you want to kind of point out with like any of the lists that you might want to address?
I mean, like I mentioned in my YouTube video on my channel, like I just want DPR Crew to win the music video of the year award because you know, the DPR Crew, like I love their aesthetics. You know, their artistic touches are just amazing.
Yeah.
And you know, Bentley 2 was great. The Purge was great. But yo, the Legacy and the Kiss Me Neon, those music video right there, dude, that was a masterpiece right there, man.
It felt like a cinematic. It felt like a movie.
Yeah, like
They really put an effort into their visuals.
I dig both music videos, so I would be happy with either one. Like, to be honest with you, like they were both great.
You know what? Like talking about the DPR Crew, I think I wouldn't have minded if Legacy actually took the spot instead of the Higher Music compilation. I'm just realizing it now. DPR is really under-nominated in this.
He is really.
Yeah, he doesn't have a nomination for Hip Hop Album of the Year. He doesn't have a nomination for Hip Hop Track of the Year. He doesn't have a spot in the underrated albums either. That's kind of puzzling to me.
I like the list, and like Fade Away is a good music video as well. Like The Purge is really good. Bentley too. They're all great. Have you guys seen the Homies one, the Siren?
yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about that?
Low budget.
Low budget.
Yeah, for sure, right? Yeah.
Like
It's kind of their shtick.
Yeah.
The low budget thing, yeah, that's kind of their shtick.
I would even throw in Uwonja's Used To music video.
Yeah, actually that was the one where he was hanging off a crane, right?
No, that's Job. That's Job.
That was Job.
But that also too deserves to be considered.
I prefer the one. I think I prefer the Job one, the one he did with Drunken Tiger. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a great video.
that one was really creative. That was very creative.
Hey, Daniel, you're a fan of Woonja, aren't you?
Yo, I can relate to his music. You know, to be quite honest with you, like it's his lyrics really touch me. Like even though it's really dark, I can really relate to him. Just the stuff that. Like the stuff that he went through and he's going through it, to convey it through his music and being very honest about it, I respect that so much, and that's the reason why I listen to a lot of his music.
Is it the vibe or is it like the technicalities? Is it because it's dark or is it because it's electronic?
I can relate to it. Like I can just relate to his music. Like his lyrics are hard hitting. The composition of the sound is very simple, is very technical, but his lyrics just really hit me. His performances on Show Me the Money 6, like Zinza and Do, like those two songs really hit me. And that's how I started liking him, from those two songs. And when he came out with AF and then with Blackout and We Are, those really solidified me as being a huge fan of his work. I don't know about you guys, but I know a lot of people is hit and miss with him just because of his style.
I like his music. I was just puzzled when he decided to go to AOMG.
I personally think that's the best one he ever made in his career, though.
Yeah, it really did. I'm glad it really worked out. But when I first knew that he was going to AOMG, I was like, wow. Like his music is super dark and experimental. So I expected him to go to a more underground label like Super Freak or even Deja Vu or something. Or even if he went to even Highlight Records, I would have been like, I can see that happening. But when he decided to go to AOMG, like that's a really unexpected pick, and it turned out great. But it was like, that's really weird.
It was surprising, but at the same time, I could see it. I could see it because it balances it out. Yeah. Because AOMG is known to be very mainstream.
Also very bright. Yeah.
But with Uwonja, is adding like kind of that non-mainstream vibe. You know, he's bringing in that more underground feel, like you guys were mentioning. So I think it creates a balance, and it worked out for him.
It was a good move for the label.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I remember in an interview with Jay Park and Woonja, he's like, I wasn't particularly fond of your style, but you were sincere. Like, you were authentic with your lyrics. Like, you showed your authenticity. And that's what really captivated Jay Park to bring Woonja along. So
his lyrics are an important part of his music.
Oh.
It really is.
100%.
It really is an important part, yeah.
And that's what I love about his overall music. Like, yeah, it's very dark, but at the same time, if you really read and translate his lyrics and break it down, there are powerful messages and hidden meanings that you'll find.
It was an interesting album, definitely.
Very interesting. And shout out to the producer Kyo. Shout out to the producer Kyo for that, man.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. Who is he?
Yeah, see, he was very new to me as well.
Yeah.
But I think he used to be in a crew as well before he got a bit more popular. But like, shout out to Kyo for that one, for real. We have a final segment every time we wrap up, we have a final segment. This is where we kind of just go around sharing one song, one artist that we've been listening to. For me, so I actually had Koogie's We featuring The Quiet at first, but when I was creating my script and I came to find the Evo with Palo Alto Huckleberry Pete, I was like, I gotta recommend, that's who I've been listening to a lot, Evo's Beautiful Mind album. And from that album, I picked Ups and Down featuring Pinodyne, which is a duo made up Huckleberry and Soulfish. I definitely want to recommend and share Evo's song Ups and Downs just because it's relatable.
Yeah.
Especially in a time where we're in a pandemic. I just think the tone is really technical, clean, crisp, and I think we can all relate to it.
That's a good song.
For me, I mean, there's a lot. When I listen to a certain music, I honestly care about the lyrics a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this might sound super biased because he's my friend, but I personally listen to Advil by Ness a lot these days. I don't know why.
Yo, that's a good song. That's a good song.
And I think it's really underrated too, you know what I mean?
Didn't he change his name?
Ness, Advil by Ness featuring Jay Park.
That's a good song.
Yeah. It's mostly in English, so I think a lot of the listeners from this podcast could actually, really dive into the lyrics as well. But, him talking about like his future, his vision, like his, like the path he's walking on, like that's kind of where I'm at right now, trying different things in life and trying to get to a certain place. So, like, yeah, that song really hits me a lot. So check it out, guys.
Will do. What about you, Minyoung?
I actually have a producer song.
Okay.
I just discovered him. There's a producer named Glowshan, Glowcean. I discovered him yesterday, actually. He's a producer that is, I don't know, it's just incredibly textured. And he has this very small details in his sound that really kind of takes advantage of the sonics to the point where it almost feels like ASMR. Like, it's really, really detailed and rich. And he has a song called Wheels.
Okay.
And it features a person called Suzanne. I'm not sure who she is, but this song features Thama, Thama.
Oh, I like Thama. Yeah,
Thama is really good.
And they really killed it on this track. So if you're into R&B, like, definitely check this person out. This is a producer album with only like 3 tracks that are actually with features, but check this album out. Like, this is a really good producer album. This is really textured, really rich, really crisp drums and synths, like A+. Like, this is a great producer album, period.
All right. I will definitely check that out.
Awesome.
Do you guys want to promote yourself?
MYK_Daytona is my Instagram. I kind of post up reviews with HIPHOPPLAYA, and sometimes I put up personal thoughts regarding the things happening with popular culture in Korea, not just hip-hop. So if you're interested in more text-based content, I guess you could check it out. So thanks. Thanks for tuning into this podcast.
For me, Show Me the One, that's my YouTube channel. So yeah, if you guys like Show Me the Money, if you guys like, K-hip-hop content's made in English, see some rappers speak English, then yeah, please go check it out. My Instagram is It's Your Boy Juan. So yeah, check out my YouTube, check out my Instagram, and I hope to talk to you guys more and communicate with you guys more through this podcast.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. Let us know what you guys think. What are your picks or your predictions for the winners of the 2021 K-Hip-Hop Awards? Once again, please don't forget to subscribe and follow our podcast and follow us on all socials to get updated on more different amazing contents. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.